Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning. Good morning. We're saying good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. It's true. Da, 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 ba, da, 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 da. Okay. Well, Angela, thank you so much for being first. Hey, Heather Stroud, Church Nelly, top of the morning. Simon Black is here. Oh, very good. Now, there was one person who's been having trouble getting into the live chat. Um, and that does happen sometimes. I don't know why. It hasn't happened as much lately as it has in the past. But yeah, for whatever reason, people who were able to um, come into the live chats, it just won't let them in. So what I'm going to do is I got to fix that, and hopefully the next time that that we're on, that they can join us in the chat. So if that has happened to you before, I do apologize. I have no control over that, but when we find out about it, we try to fix it. Okay. Yep, we do try to fix it. So, I believe Charles and his emotional support um, queen consort, should be en route to the U.S. Um, Honestly, I'm surprised after the events this weekend. I'm surprised that they're still coming, but they're determined to be here. So, um, let the sun shine. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine. The sun shine in. Yes, let the sun shine in. Yep, if you want to be here that bad, I say welcome. Okay. Hmm. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, how do I do this? Do that. And hopefully I will have this fixed and that person will be able to join us in the live chat. Okay, yes, that's not working. All right, well, I'll try to fix it another time. Prudence, that's who we're missing, is Prudence Montague. So if you are listening, Prudence, I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to get you back in here with us. Um, but so far, not working out. But worry not, we will get there. We will do it. Okay. Yeah, we want Prudence back. Okay, let me try this one more time. Ah, got it. All right, Prudence, if you're listening right now, please refresh your PC and hopefully you can join us, okay? Please try to refresh your PC and then come and join us in the live chat. All right, that should work out. All right. So, congratulations to Kenya Sebastian Sawi wins the London Marathon in world record time. I believe it was 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 30 seconds. People thought that it would be impossible for anyone to ever do this marathon in 2 hours. Under 2 hours. But somehow he did it. He did it. 1 hour, 59 minutes, 30 seconds. He managed to do the impossible. I wonder if he realized that he was actually going to break a record. Now, if I'm correct, I believe the marathon is 26 point what 2 miles, something like that. I don't know how many meters that is, but it's 26 miles and some change. And I believe they said that was because there was some emperor or some king or something like that who wanted the marathon to end in front of the palace or something to that effect. And so they extended the marathon just a little bit. And that's why it's the length that it is. That's what I always heard. Who determined the length of the marathon? Oh, yeah. Okay. It's 26.2 miles, 42.9195 kilometers. Anyway, it was the 1908 Olympics. And organizer of the 1908 race was tailored to start at Windsor Castle and finish in front of the Royal Box at the White City Stadium. For the enjoyment of the royal family, setting the distance at 26 miles and 385 yards, which was officially standardized in 1921. So there you go. That is why, and that was a request of Queen Alexandra, asked the race to begin on the lawn of Windsor Castle and end in front of the royal family's viewing box at the stadium, with some reports noting it allowed children to watch from the nursery, according to whoever. Isn't that interesting? That is why it is 26.2 miles. Now, the original length was 24.85 miles. That is what they ran in Athens in 1896, was 24.85. Now it is 26.2. I think they should add just a couple of more miles to it if it means that it ends in front of Starbucks. That way I can go inside and get myself a Frappuccino. Well, anyway, congratulations to all the winners. And congratulations to Prudence Montague for making it back to Royal Sussex. Yeah, no wonder we haven't seen Prudence for a while. She wasn't able to get in. Also, you guys, thank you so much for your prayers for Hazel Jones, who suffered a very mild stroke. Doctor says that they caught it in time and that she should be fit as a fiddle in no time, which is why that it is so important to act fast if you suspect someone is having a stroke. If I get that weird feeling, I usually like run to the mirror and look at my pupils and I start saying, "She sells seashells by the seashore." I say that as often as I can. But that's not the only thing. Also, there is the droopy arm. You want to see if your face is kind of you know, sagging on one side or something like that, to have that droopy face on one side. All of those things could be the indication that you're having a stroke. So it is very important to act fast. As a matter of fact, there is something called fast, which is what you're supposed to do if you suspect you're having a stroke. And let's see. So, of course, that's an acronym. Yep. When I say fast, I'm speaking in terms of an acronym. It has nothing to do with Church Nelly. That's a different kind of fast. Yeah, that's a different fast. Um, so hang in there, you guys. We're going to learn about this right now. Okay. This is a Royal Sussex public service announcement. Nothing to do with Church Nelly. Okay. Is it a stroke? Act fast. You want to check and make sure that your face is not droopy. That's very important. Also, you want to make sure that you don't have weakness in one of your arms. It is very important to determine if there is any difficulty in your speech, right? And then the last thing is calling 911. So face, arms, speech, and time. You want to act fast. Now, in another country, your number, like in the UK, I think it's 999. Very important to do these things. So thank you, Hazel Jones, for reminding us that this is very important. Now, not everyone that suffers those symptoms may be having a stroke. What do I mean by that? Well, let me see. How do I explain this? Let's start with hold on. Let me find the right picture. All right. You know I'm finna get messy, right? Let's start off with the droopy face. Okay. Now, I can assure you that this droopy face has nothing to do with a stroke. Nothing at all. That is not a stroke. That is a emotional support queen consort. All right? And then, of course, one of the other symptoms that is a telltale sign that one is having a stroke is impaired speech. Now, how do you identify impaired speech? Well, there's several ways, but let's go with one of the more conventional ones. Okay, here we go.
You'll face the daily challenge at finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact. Leaders, you'll face the daily challenge at finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact.
So there you go. You got the droopy face.
You'll face the daily challenge at finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact.
And of course, impaired speech. And this is why I say not everyone who's suffering from those symptoms are actually having a stroke. Just like if there's somebody that's kind of fast, Church Nelly. Oh, no, that's not one. Anyway, so let's just remember it is face, droopy face, weakness in your arm, difficulty in your speech. And of course, you have to act fast and call 911. Now, my aunt that passed away a couple years ago, she had a stroke and she was actually like making breakfast and something told her to turn off the fire. And she just reached down and turned it off. And I think at that point, then she fell to the floor. Well, her family discovered her and got her the hell out of there as fast as possible. No ambulance, just take her to the hospital. And she recovered. Took her a long time, but she recovered and was able to drive again and everything. So that's why they say that the swift reaction is very important. Now, there's other reasons for a droopy face: time, stress, shady, cruel, mean-spirited, and the speech impediment. Well, it's a balance between profitability, educate you too. Thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for joining us here on Royal Sussex. Okay, so I guess we're all clear on that concept. And again, those are the things. Go ahead and take a screenshot if you need to remember this, if you want to go over it again. Now, I remember one time I thought I had had a stroke. I had the most uncomfortable bed. And like, I can't even describe what the problem was, but the frame, this bed was so broken. The frame was kind of digging into my side. And I woke up and my arm was just like numb. And so, of course, the first thing I did, I jumped up. Like I said, I ran to the mirror. And then over time, my arm was okay. And then it happened again. So this time I went to a different hospital because I just did not think that it was that, right? And so I purchased a new mattress and it never happened again. And that was probably 10 years ago. So there you go. But it's always better just to go to the doctor. I did at least go to the doctor, but I just did not think that I didn't believe it. And when I told the other doctor, she said, "No, you didn't have a stroke." Okay. So, all right, you guys, let's get back to the other stuff. Thank you everyone for being here and always for your participation. Let's see. And then had several more over the years until it was one too many. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. Uh, let's see. I can move my right side and walk again, but I have several vision loss and neuropathy. My aunt had vision loss. She used to go for those injections. And I never asked her if it had anything to do with that. But aspirin, ladies and gentlemen, do that children's aspirin, which I have one right here. And I'm always telling people that, and I never take them. So I'm going to have one right now. I saw an influencer that she had some cosmetic surgery, right? They offered her a children's aspirin. You know what she said? No, thank you. Well, and listen, this woman, I'm going to just assume she had the best medical care possible. Um, Considering her house and her husband's job and everything, um, I'm thinking she did okay. But she declined the aspirin. Well, one day she woke up, she said it felt like something was sitting on her chest. Turns out she had a pulmonary embolism. She could have saved herself a lot of grief had she just taken that children's aspirin. It won't hurt you at all. It's only 81 milligrams. 81 milligrams. It can save a life. Okay, I just had my children's aspirin. Okay. Angela M says, I take my 81 milligrams of children aspirin daily due to having a heart attack in 2021 while at work. Okay. Very good. Very good. Keep taking them. Oh, it was a large clot that needed surgery. Okay. Okay. You know what? I love the way you guys inform and take care of each other. I really do. That is so cool. That is awesome. You know what? I did not make a get well card for Hazel Jones. I should do that. I should do that. Yes, don't ever ignore the symptoms. Amen to that. Never ignore the symptoms. You know, the one thing that I inherited from my mother and my father is perfect blood pressure. Now everything else is a wreck, but my blood pressure has always been pretty good, and I do have a blood pressure cuff. If you don't have one, it's a nice investment to have, and that way you can monitor yourself. You don't have to wait until you go to the doctor. So I'm going to do it right now. Okay, it's a little high right now. Not bad, but a little elevated. Yeah. Well, that bottom number is still in the 80s. All right. Okay. Hey, you know what that's saying? Lay off the salt. If I lay off the salt, I'm like a teenager. Okay. Again, congratulations to Kenya Sebastian Sawi for the London Marathon. And these people right here are suddenly famous. Well, at least they're in quite a few different publications right now. These are the guys that were in a song that was, I think it's like a, gosh, um, I believe it was a Celine Dion song. And anyway, Meghan posted this because she got some good news per an astrologist saying that the bad times that's been happening for the past 7 years will soon be behind her. They will soon be in her rearview mirror. So, let's hope that is the case. And that being said, on to happier times, right? Well, anyway, I cannot share with you the video because of the music. However, yesterday I was able to share the link, and it was great. It was great. It's a lot of fun. They're on Instagram, and it wasn't like the world's greatest choreography, but it wasn't meant to be. It was just meant to be fun. And so if you didn't get a chance to see it, let's see. Well, you know what? I bet you they don't have the link up anymore because that was on the reel. What? I'll tell you what. Let me just see if I can grab that for you, and I will share the link, and you can watch it whenever you like. Okay, let me go to. Uh, oh no, that's not it. There we go. So it would be, where would I find it? If she had it on her, what do you call that? Yeah, now I don't see it. Hmm. Let me work this out. Yeah, I don't know how to find it now. I don't know how to find it now. I knew yesterday. A lot of help that is, right? Yeah, it's gone. Well, anyway, They were in the Daily Fail and some other publications. But worry not, I will grab it. Aha, I found it. Uh-huh. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys their link, and then you can watch it whenever you choose. Mm. Okay, link is coming. There we go. All right, you see it? It's at the I pinned it to the chat. And then you can just click on it and watch it anytime you want to. But yeah, it's a fun video. So Meghan liked it. And I think these guys are like actors or comedians or both. Oh, man. It's kind of goofy, but I love it. All right. And you guys don't forget to like their page. Okay. Don't forget to do that. You got to like their page. All right. Have fun with it. Oh, Heather Stroud, thank you so much. I didn't realize you found it. Thank you. All right. I really appreciate that. So there we go. 7 years of being 7 years of being rebuilt is finally landing. You are not the person you were in 2018, and you were never meant to be. Comment Uranus, and I will send you the full guide for all 12 rising signs. Okay. So that is obviously Meghan's, the Leo. The tension between the tension between who you actually are and what the world around you was willing to see has been exhausting in a way that is hard to explain to people who have not lived it. Your confidence took hits it had no business taking. You questioned your creative direction, your spotlight, your worth. April 25th, the pressure that is lifts. Oh God, I can hardly see that. It's the brown, isn't it? That's what looks so weird, is the brown. You get the space, you just wait a minute, you get the space to just exit without fighting for it. And that comes from Spirit Daughter. Right. Ouch, that hurts. Well, anyway, that's what Meghan was celebrating. So I hope for her sake is true. Now, not everyone follows astrology. I myself, only for entertainment purposes. So just have fun with it. Don't ever plan your future based on something like that. But you look at it, you say, wow, you know what? That's interesting. That sounds just like what happened to me. And then you move on. You know what I mean? That's it. Just have fun with it. Oh, Celine Dion's That's the Way It Is. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was the name of that song. Thank you for that. You know what? I'm not listening to these guys, but I got the video playing out the corner of my eye on one of the video screens, and it's like I keep seeing them out the corner of my eye. I'm gonna have to get rid of them because they're very distracting. I mean, imagine out the corner of your eye, feet stomping, people jumping around, and all of these exaggerated faces. uh, okay, so there you go. Now, Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, the emotional support Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, reportedly told Kate Middleton she could not wear blue for public appearances. She has been prohibited from wearing blue. Now, that's not the first time we've heard that, is it? We've heard that before, that Camilla told her she could not wear blue. Now, both of them are very partial to wearing kind of an electric blue. And, well, let's see here. More reports are coming out about Queen Camilla and Kate Middleton's alleged feud, and one of the newer ones is related to something extra petty. A royal commentator recently went viral after creating a video that dove into the lore of royal fashion and the colors the royal family chooses to wear. In it, they alleged that the Queen Consort actually told Kate Middleton she was not allowed to wear her favorite regal esteemed color, blue. This reportedly not only added fuel to the fire between their already tense relationship, giving both women value and enjoy wearing it. Let's see here. So, though there are a lot that the royal family has to cover on a daily basis, fashion is certainly important. It is often prioritized, more thought out than some people think. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Get to the part where it's something worth gossiping about. Okay, typically it has to do with symbolism, cohesiveness, blah, blah, blah. Amid rumors, Kate Middleton and Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, alleged war. Their tense relationship is being said that the Queen Consort is claiming the color blue for herself first and foremost. Like I said, this is kind of old news. Oh, I think was it matter of fact? In the viral TikTok video, creator Matta, she also noted there were reports that Camilla had been claiming blue and telling other royals, namely Kate, they could not wear it. Yeah, you know what? I was hoping that there was some particular incident, but not so much. They're just reminding us what I've mentioned several times. Camilla said Kate can't wear blue. However, as you notice, Kate will wear blue, but only if Camilla's not there. That much I'll say is accurate. She'll only wear it absent Camilla. Now, she did wear it that Christmas, the 28th of December. Remember? December 28th, 2023. Um, And then we didn't see her for 172 days. So who knows? Maybe Camilla got to her. Maybe Camilla admonished her with her stare. If somebody stares at you with that face, you're going to turn into a pillar of salt. You know what I mean? That is a look that will freeze you in your tracks. That is a look that will make you yell mommy and run for it. That has been a thing for a while. It really has been a thing for a while. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I could find the old article really fast. But yeah. Well, anyway, I know I've talked about it before. Camilla has put a prohibition on it for Kate Middleton. In the family, if you are higher ranking, then you are able to say you can't wear blue, and the other person is not supposed to. Just like for the coronation, it was prohibited to wear a tiara. The only person who could wear a tiara at the coronation was Camilla. Well, actually, Camilla didn't even wear a tiara. She wore the crown, right? Or did she wear that tiara? I think she wore a tiara on her way into the Westminster, right? Anyway, they put a prohibition because rightfully you're supposed to wear your tiara to a coronation. They put a ban on everyone. You could not wear them. And so on coronation day, Kate Middleton decided that she would get that headband made out of crystal that looked just like a diamond tiara. And not only did she wear one, she also got one for her daughter. See, this is the old article right here. Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort. Look at that. That's 2024. Battle over blue dresses and what a staffer is saying now. So this is not new. This is kind of an old thing. But notice the bright, vivid blue. That is the blue that Camilla particularly likes to keep for herself. So whenever she wears that, then inevitably Kate Middleton is going to wear probably like a burgundy or something. I even have a picture where it looks like Kate is ready to bite Camilla's head off when they were at some function. You can see that Kate was giving Camilla the side eye. Now, remember, before Camilla became the Queen Consort, I don't think it was being, I don't think it was a thing at that time. But now it is mandatory. It's messy. I like it. Yep, it's messy. I like it. Oh, check this out. Check this out. Just as I said, see there? And this this is that day that Camilla shooed Kate away from Melania. Remember that? She told her to go someplace else and talk. That was that day. And look at what Camilla's wearing. She's wearing that bright blue that she loves so much. It's a very real thing. So when Kate wore that crystal headband, right? She wore that to the coronation. After that, it seemed like Kate was banned from wearing tiaras. Any event that required a tiara, it seems like Kate was not invited. And then to make it so bad, they actually gave that lotus tiara to Sophie to wear. And you know, when you are wearing, when they loan you a tiara, usually it's on loan to you for life, right? You're the only one that's going to wear it. Well, that's why I was surprised to see that Sophie was wearing it. But I believe they did that as a slight to Kate Middleton to allow Sophie to wear a headband. As a matter of fact, Sophie didn't even change. Take a look at this. Take a look at that. You see that? Now, notice that dark line at the base of the lotus tiara. By the way, Kate Middleton was not at that function. That was one of those functions that they refused to let her attend, right? Notice the dark line. That's because there's a piece of cushion that's covered with velvet, a brown velvet because of Kate's hair. They didn't even take that out. They should have put in, something to match Sophie's hair, but they didn't because it wasn't for Sophie to keep. They were just having Sophie to wear it just to, mess with Kate. So that is why um, you see that dark line. Otherwise, you wouldn't even see it because they would have changed it. It is on loan for life. And when Kate becomes queen consort, then she will probably give it to her daughter to wear. Well, I tell you, those are three pieces of work, aren't they? Three of the messiest broads this side of the savannah. Yeah, I used to hate that the Sussexes got pushed out of there, but I'm glad they left. I'm glad they left because they would have tried everything to keep Meghan on some type of tether, and that's just not meant to be. That wasn't ever going to work. Okay, it was just one more picture I wanted to share with you. Um, and then we're going to go on to something else. And it's that one where Kate looks like she's ready to uh, bite um, Camilla's head off. Hmm. see. All right, I'm not seeing it. But yeah, I am here for the messiness. I am here for it. The shade and the messy. Oh, there it is. But that's not the one I want. It's a different one. Okay, this one is kind of cut off, but just to move things along, I'm going to show it to you. Oh, I just lost it. Okay, give me 1 second, you guys. Almost got it. Well, never mind. I don't see it. And I don't have a particular label for it either, so not going to happen. Oh, there it is. I got it. See there? Look at Kate. Look at her. She's cutting her eyes at Camilla wearing her favorite color. That's the one I was talking about. Like she has daggers coming out of her eyes. I'm telling you, Camilla would wear, I'm sorry, not Camilla, but Kate. She would wear that blue every day if she thought she could get away with it. But the queen consort said, that's not going to happen, boo. And so no more blue. Only if Camilla's not around. So, yes, it is a very, very real thing, as evident by that glance. All right. All right. Let's move on. Is it this one? No, that one. Here's another image of Harry over in Ukraine. Harry looking very dapper in his suit. Every time Harry goes to Ukraine, some of the best photos have come from over there. When he was there the other time before this, you know what? I'm going to share those photos with you before the week is out. He took some really great photos. The photographers that they assigned to his visits are pretty awesome. And if you look at their work, you can see so much of their work is so good. This artist, Robert Blavine, Blairvine, Blairvine. Anyway, this is an artist that I discovered while they were in Australia. So I'm guessing this artist is Australian, but he's made a few images. I don't know if he does this with digital, whatever. I don't know how he does it, but he's made some pretty great images of the Sussexes. This one is not the same artist, but I do like it. This is I cannot read it, but you can see it in the bottom right corner there, but I can barely see that. Is Bell Code Design? Yeah, Bell Code Design. Anyway, very cool. Dear Harry Hater, look in the mirror. Your hate says more about you than them. Jealousy, insecurity, small mind, negativity. Let me see. Truth, love, freedom. That's what the Sussexes stand for. We see you. We support them. We choose kindness. We choose kindness. Trolls. Be better, do better, rise above hate. Hashtag Team Sussex. Okay? Hashtag Team Sussex. The Sussex Squad. But yeah, I love that one. I wouldn't mind kind of printing that out maybe. Or that would look great on a coffee cup, right? That would look really great on a black coffee cup. I'm going to have to go to the artist's website. Maybe they do have something like that. But that is very cool. Make a good t-shirt. Yeah, that would make a great t-shirt, as a matter of fact. Meghan suggests hardest 7 years of her life are coming to an end as she shares personal horoscope posts on Instagram. Actually, this is out of order. I've done that already by talking about those guys. So we can just skip past that one. Yes, the grumpier old men. Grumpy old men. Remember, that was a movie, Grumpy Old Men. And then they had a part 2 called Grumpier Old Men. So, since this is the second state dinner, no, I'm sorry. This is Charles. Is this Charles' first state dinner with Trump, or is his second? Well, either way, we'll just pretend like it's number 2 for his trip to the U.S. state dinner with Trump. So grumpier old men. Yeah, grumpier old men. I think this is actually King Charles' first. Yes, his first. What am I thinking? It is his first. This is very much his first. Now, the question is, where are they going to sleep? Where are they going to sleep? Usually, I think the heads of state stays at the ambassador's house, but not always. We'll have to wait and see. So Sky News halted for emotional news alert, and it's very awkward for King Charles. The brother of Virginia Giuffre wants the king to show unity with Epstein survivors. Sky News brought viewers an emotional alert as Virginia Giuffre's brother shared his thoughts on King Charles' decision to not meet Jeffrey Epstein survivors. A Buckingham Palace source said the king will not meet survivors of the late convicted pervert during his 4-day state visit to U.S. Ooh, 4 days. The source said there is no deviation from the guidelines that we've previously issued, that it will not be possible during the state visit for a meeting to take place of the kind that has been suggested. You know, I don't think it's a good idea myself. I really don't think it's a good idea. Yeah, for whatever reason, I just don't think it's a good idea. I think it will probably backfire and it will make Charles seem more endearing instead of the person who may have known something and didn't do anything about it. Yeah, I just don't think that it's going to play out the way that they are maybe hoping it will. I don't think so. It is only going to humanize Charles and his emotional support, Camilla. So I say nay. No meeting. Do not give those two the benefit. I don't suspect it's going to bring any additional closure. If anything, it's just like I said, it's going to humanize those two. Let's see. Sky Roberts and supporters of his sister held a memorial vigil in Washington, D.C., marking the first anniversary of her death. He spoke to Sky News that they need the king to stand up and show unity with survivors, adding that it's a missed opportunity for King Charles. Maybe. What do you guys think? I don't like it. I don't like it. Sky News halted. Oh, that's the same thing, isn't it? Anyway, there is a comment from the Sussex Soldier. She says, I don't know if I should applaud or laugh at his request, not because it's funny, but because he is asking King Charles, a man without certain parts, to do that. The article states, oh, that sounds gross. I don't want to say it. The article states that it is not possible for King Charles to meet with Epstein victims, etc. Well, it is possible if King Charles truly wanted to, but he doesn't. He's a protector of perversion, and he and the UK don't want to make Trump angry. They are afraid of Trump's wrath. If Charles cared about the victims, he would have invited them to Buckingham Palace a long time ago. I think it's a bad idea. Bad idea. They will only use that visit to reform their profiles. Yep. So, following discussions on both sides of the Atlantic through the day and acting on advice of government, we can affirm the state visit by their majesties will proceed as planned. The king and the emotional support queen consort are most grateful to all those who have worked at pace to ensure this remains the case and are looking forward to the visit getting underway tomorrow. And that comes from Buckingham Palace. So, King keeps calm and carries on. Charles vows to persevere with U.S. state visit after third attempt on Trump's life. The third attempt that we know of. This is the Australian flag. This is the Washington, D.C. flag. There is a Union Jack. See it in the background? That's a Union Jack. So, upon a state visit, you would expect to see the American flag, the Union Jack, and the flag of Washington, D.C. Tell me, why is it we're seeing Australian flags? Somebody made a mistake. Somebody made a huge mistake. Those flags are to go on display in Washington, D.C. Now, the building in the background, that is the old executive office building that is adjacent to the White House, connected via tunnel. Or you can just walk across the street. So Washington, D.C. was decorated with flags of Australia for the King of UK's visit. Over 230 flags were displayed on the city streets, at least 15 of which were incorrect. The error was noticed and quickly corrected, but locals managed to take plenty of photos. But yeah, so that's what happened. They had to send the street crews back out there to change at least 15 of those flags. I wonder how long did it take for anybody to notice, though? And of course, this guy was beside himself with excitement. Oh, I mean, you could just hear the excitement in his voice. I really think this guy needs to get out more often, because if this is the only thing that rocks his boat, he probably needs to stay on land. Oh, wait, did someone send me? Oh, okay. So let me see. Where's my little sound bite? With this overly excited, overly stimulated man.
Ahead of Monday, Vanessa, is that they've now got the right flags flying in the middle of Washington, D.C. I don't know if you spotted yesterday, but the work crews that were sent out to make sure that the Union Jack was fluttering along the streets through which the King and Queen will be transiting when they arrive here was put in place. In fact, they erroneously put out the Australian flag.
Stop it.
And when this was seriously. And when this was pointed out by various observers, the work crews rather sheepishly returned to the streets, removed the Australian flags, and put the Union Jack out. So at least we've got the Union Jacks flying in Washington now. So there's that. The good.
Okay, let me just tell you this. That's Washington, D.C. There ain't nothing sheepish about those people replacing those flags. You see that woman up there on that cherry picker? Does she look like she's sheepish? Would you be the one to say, "Oi, mate"? I think that's the wrong flag. I wouldn't be the one. She don't look like the one to be messed with, okay? So she didn't sheepishly go out there and change it. She just went and changed them. People from Washington D.C. are they're not the sheepish kind. They do the work. You give them their paycheck. Nobody gets hurt. Okay? Not a sheep. Sorry. He's got the wrong Washington. Try Washington State. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Boom, 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 boom. That, of course, is Donald Trump. Donald Trump, who used to say, Sleepy Joe, Sleepy Joe. Now he can't keep his eyes open. You know, with all of the banging sounds and all of the dishes clanging and everything, he didn't even look. Everyone else around him was looking toward the door, and he was still looking at the card this guy had in his hand. Not very much showing any kind of reflex or reaction. Now, when the Secret Service finally tried to get him out of there, he took two steps and stumbled to the floor. 2 steps and he stumbled. He is not the robust man that he used to be. And I'm going to tell you something too. You will notice that most times when you see him, he's already seated. He's seated when the press enters the room, and they send the press away so that, he can stand up away from the cameras. So I was not surprised that he took 2 steps and went down to his knees. His legs have little strength these days. It has been said that that is a very ill man, very ill. How true that is, I don't know. But they have constantly pointed out that his legs are swollen and that he has what appears to be some purple on the back of his hand, as though he's been doing some type of routine IV or injection of some sort. So I don't know. But I think that there should be a cutoff to what age they allow a person to serve as president. It really should be, because everything that he was saying about Biden, now he's that person. He is clearly that person. And that too, Church Nelly. Yeah, he's having some plumbing issues. What did they know, and when did they know it? People are saying that something's not right about this whole thing, that it seemed a bit suspect, that something ain't jiving. Some things just don't seem right. I don't have enough information to make an informed decision, but yeah, it's a little weird. I grant you that. It's a little weird. You see what I mean? For Pete's sake, something just seems a bit off. Like they're too pleased with themselves. They're back at the White House. Nothing suspicious here at all, is it? By the way, this is the whitest White House we've had in a long time. I don't believe there are anyone I don't believe there's not one person within that White House that is of African American descent. The very people whose forced labor built this country are not allowed in the White House. One by one, they were either prohibited or eliminated from staff. If you thought it was bad last time, now it's even worse. They got exactly what they wanted. But remember, I couldn't vote for that woman. I ain't voting for that woman. I can't vote for her. You know, I have a friend who has a child that is in the Army Reserve. I wonder what he's thinking right now. He couldn't vote for Kamala Harris either. Not that I'm wishing anything bad on anyone or anything like that, but come on. Oh, you're here. You're here. I'm so glad. And thanks for letting us know. That worked out better than I could have expected. Why is Carolyn, what's her name? Caroline Levitt. Why is she making that Bill Cosby face? Why is she doing that Bill Cosby face? She's making that Bill Cosby's face. Remember how he used to do that? Where he have his mouth all kind of weird like that? Like somebody just handed her a Jello pudding pop. uh wait. I got it. And you know, Pete Hetzik, whatever his name is, he kind of reminds me of Beavis and Butthead. Right? I don't know why I'm looking at him and I'm getting Beavis and Butthead. Okay, here goes. See what I mean? That's that kind of how Bill Cosby used to purse his lips. That's exactly what she's doing. She's pursing her lips just like Bill. Well, she don't really have a upper lip, but she went and bought a top lip, but she's pursing something. Beavis and Butthead. And now, of course, as mentioned, Pete Hesek reminds me of the kid from that cartoon Beavis and Butthead. I'll show you. Okay, here it comes. See what I mean? Check it out. Looks just like them. See that? Isn't that weird? The one on the right side, the one with the Metallica shirt, looks just like Pete Hepsick. Looks just like him. That is scary. Wow, go figure. Beavis and Butthead. Okay. Why do I always observe things? I'm always observing stuff. I see weird things all the time. And of course, my kindred spirit, my spirit animal, guest at White House correspondent dinner goes viral for calmly eating his meal while everyone else cower under tables as gunshots were fired. But this guy seemed to have the right idea. He was sitting there like, what gunshots? That salad is too good to waste. He refused to waste his salad. Okay, where's my guy at? Here he is right here.
Secretary Pete Hegseth is in that room. You've got Scott Bessent in that room. You have Tulsi Gabbard in that room. You, of course, have J.D. Vance in that room, naturally the President of the United States. And as John mentioned, the White House Correspondents' Dinner is where we are presently broadcasting from. And who's in the room?
Yes. Our compliments to the chef. Obviously, because they had only just they were going to take the salad plates, right?
In that room, you have Tulsi Gabbard in that room. You, of course, have J.D. Vance in that room, naturally the President of the United States. And as John mentioned, the White House Correspondents' Dinner is where we are presently broadcasting from. And who's in the room?
Now, I hope that they went and fed the homeless people with that food. I hope all that food didn't go to waste. Because remember, they had enough food for, how many guests was it? Like 300, whatever it was. But there was a big crowd there. And surely they made however many salads. What about the rest of the food? Did that just get chucked away? That's a real shame now that you think about it, right? And of course, the other person who they have not mentioned in the press as of yet, but they will probably get around to it. This girl. Hello, darkness, my old friend. There we go. Copyright music. Check her out. Little mama say, this is that good stuff. This is that good stuff. I'm going to take this up to my room. Yeah. Moet champagne. I'll take it. Huh. And looks like we got some Merlot. Champagne and Merlot. I'm on it. I knew I should have brought a bigger purse tonight. I told you I should have brought my Birkin. I could have got both of those bottles in my Birkin. Isn't that a stunning coat? That's a beautiful coat she's wearing. Look at her. Huh? You see that, Church Nelly? Is she doing the right thing? That's how you do it. And no sense in being shy. All of the excitement is over. Yep. And somehow, Wolf Blitzer, remember Wolf Blitzer from CNN? Somehow he lost the shoe. I don't ask me how, but he lost the shoe. Oh, well. Hey, Lydia Washington, thank you for joining us. This girl say, I'm not wasting that. Look at all that wine on them tables. Booze everywhere. You know how them Republicans are. Yes, I'm taking this with me. Here, you put one in your bag. I put one in my pocket. We need bigger purses. The hell with a to-go cup. Success. I love her. That is my girl there. Now, I don't know if you recognize this place, but it's called Blair House. Yes, that building in the center is a townhouse. And that is the official guest house for the President of the United States. That is the guest house. It is across the street from the White House. And Blair House was purchased when Harry Truman was actually, I don't know if they purchased it at that time, but that's where he stayed when they were doing extensive renovation on the White House. Now, I'm not sure, but I think that it may actually connect to the other buildings because it is huge. I mean, it doesn't look so big on the outside. Well, it is kind of a sizable house, but that is the guest house. Across the street from the White House, 4 seamlessly connected row houses comprise a 120-room Blair House complex, also known as the President's Guest House. So yeah, it is 4 buildings. In 1942, the U.S. government acquired Blair House along with the Blair family's original furnishings, china and silver, establishing it as the official guest residence for the President of the United States. With its 70,000 square foot floor space, fine appointments, period antiques, and artwork, Blair House is a powerful instrument of American democracy. In addition to hosting visiting foreign leaders in comfortable, elegant surroundings, Blair House also provides a secure residence for each president-elect in the days leading up to the inauguration. So, as president-elect, the president-elect and their family would stay at Blair House, and then on inauguration day, they would make their trip to the, to the National Mall, to the steps of the Capitol Hill. And of course, they built a stage for the inauguration. Well, that is where that will take place. And then you take the motorcade back to the White House, but this time you're going to skip the Blair House and go directly to the White House. So they say that it's like a ballet. During the inauguration, there are movers that are stripping everything private and personal from one first family and setting up a new White House for the next first family. So by the time they're done with the inauguration and whatever parade, they could simply move in and call it home. So there is a watercolor image of Blair House. Kate Middleton marks Anzac Day after Harry and Meghan's Australia visit. Now, I thought that was Granny from Beverly Hillbillies. I did. I thought that was Irene Ryan. Didn't you? I swear I thought that was Granny from Beverly Hillbillies. I'm like, that's not Kate, that's Granny. Wow, that's weird. Yes, I see a resemblance. Okay, you don't believe me? Check it out. Now tell me they don't look alike. And just so you know, that's Kate on the right side. No, I'm sorry, the left side. Jet. I mean, she just looked like she gonna haul off and make some possum pie with some crawdads and some mucks. What is it? Gopher gravy. And then they're going to sit in the billiard room at the billiard table and use those sticks that they use as a pot passer in the billiard room. And then after dinner, they're going to go and sit around the cement pond. Anyway, according to Feminagra, Kate attended the Anzac Day services in London on April the 25th. She laid a wreath at the cenotaph on behalf of King Charles. She went to Westminster Abbey, and the press called it dignified, proper, and officially significant. Princess Anne was also in attendance. The dawn of service at Wellington Arch, because of course she did and is still one of the monarchy's most reliable workhorses. That explains the resemblance. One of the most reliable workhorses. Even in the years when King Charles's edges her out on engagement count, now here is part of that palace media machine does not want you to connect. This all happened 1 week after Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex completed their 4-day independent visit to Australia. During that trip, Harry's visited the Australian War Memorial in Cumbria. Those military medals on his chest earned during his decade of service in the British Army. At the Australian War Memorial, he laid a wreath and attended the last post ceremony. This was a veteran honoring Australian war dead. Same Anzac Day tradition, Commonwealth, and the act of remembrance, but the framing could not be more different if the palace wrote the script themselves. The contrast is not subtle. Harry's tribute came from a man who served and wore his own medals. He stood at the memorial that honored the fallen, and he did it without a palace handler telling him where to stand or what to wear. The press called it private, independent, not official. Kate's tribute came from a woman who has never served a day in uniform. She wore a navy coat dress, predictable, controlled, institutionally approved. She laid a wreath on behalf of her father-in-law, and the press called it royal duty, as if that word means more when it comes with a crown on a letterhead. To be clear, there is nothing wrong with Kate attending Anzac Day. She showed respect and she performed her role. But the timing was not an accident. Kensington Palace announced her Anzac Day plan on April 15th, the same week Harry and Meghan were still in Australia, generating headlines, and people ran the story with a subtext screaming, "See, the real royals are still here, and the real royals care about the Commonwealth. The real royals do things properly." Now, that was People magazine being shady. But you know who put them up to it? Kensington Palace. Yep, that headline or subtext was written by Kensington Palace. And of course, with Clarence House, they wanted to try to send a message to the world that the Sussexes do not speak for the House of Windsor. Well, they're not trying to. They have the House of Sussex to speak for. And I guarantee you more people were paying attention to the House of Sussex than the House of Windsor. Now, this is what People magazine said. Kensington Palace announced Princess Anne and Princess Kate plan to mark Anzac Day last week on April 15th when Prince Harry and Meghan were on a trip to Australia. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex spent 4 days there on a trip that mixed private, philanthropic, and business outings, bringing them back to the continent for the first time since their 2018 royal tour. The Duke of Sussex stepped back from, oh God, I hate when they get to that part. Yes, we know they stepped back. Good God. Anyway, Prince Harry paid respect to Australian lives lost in conflict on April 15th when he visited the Australian War Memorial and attended the last post ceremony at the site. King Charles' younger son wore his military medals earned during his decade of service in the British Army to the memorial, where he laid a wreath. And that, of course, comes from People magazine. So service does not need palace approval. Remember that. Service does not need palace approval. As a matter of fact, let me do this, because I'm tired of looking at mumbles. I am so tired of looking at mumbles. Let's put the real royal up there. Okay. Let's put the real royal up there. Not that cheap imitation. There you go. There you go. That's better. Here is the uncomfortable truth about the royal rota. Will never admit. Harry honored Australian war dead as a veteran. Kate honored them as a royal. Although both acts matter, only one came wrapped in palace approval. Anzac Day commemorates the 1915 Gallipoli landing. The day exists to mark sacrifice. The sacrifice of Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, not to judge who wore the better coat dress, not to crown which royal looked more dignified in a photo. Those are distractions, not remembrance. And it certainly should not be reduced to a contest over who loves Australia more. Harry. But the palace media ecosystem cannot help itself. Harry and Meghan do something independent. Cue the carefully staged official appearance. Australia gives them a warm welcome. Time for replaying in London. Headlines about the Sussexes. You can bet the Wales headline is right behind it. It is exhausting and it's transparent. Or as I like to say, it's as shallow as a glass of water. Now, here's a final thought from Feminegra. The villain is the royal media machine that keeps trying to frame Harry and Meghan's independent work as lesser, as unofficial, as somehow not counting, while treating every palace-approved appearance as weightier and more legitimate, more real. Harry wore his own medals. Kate wore a borrowed role. Both honored service. Only one was treated as a properly royal. Anzac Day belongs to men and women who served and died. It does not belong to the royal optics. And the palace's desperate need to turn remembrance into a comparison says more about their insecurity than it does about Harry and Meghan. The monarchy wants you to believe that duty is defined by protocol. Harry proved in Cumbria that duty is defined by service. And one of those things cannot be bought or styled for or managed, no matter how many Navy coat dresses you own. Thank you, Feminegra. Yeah, I don't want to seem like I'm putting Kate down, but I mean, you put on your Navy coat dress so that you can look more military-esque. Well, what if we talked about her coat the same way they talk about Harry and Meghan whenever they go on a tour? Her quasi military uniform, her make-believe, her pretend military uniform. You know what I'm saying? What if they did the same thing to her for not being a real service person compared to how they treat Harry and Meghan? Her wannabe uniform. Now, one thing that was interesting about her appearance is the lack of enthusiasm from the people on the street. It just did not seem to matter. No one was interested and no one cared. Now, to be fair, there were people in the background, but I get the feeling that the crowd did not even know who was at the Westminster Abbey. They saw the gates and everything, but I guarantee you, those were tourists that had no clue who was visiting. They had no clue. They only knew that the street was blocked. So that means there's something going on. But when Kate emerged from the vehicle, it didn't help. It was so quiet, you could hear a rat piss on cotton. Silent. Nobody was interested and nobody cared. Seriously. I'm going to show you the video. It was just like, well, you'll see. Yeah, it seemed like it was a royal funeral. Okay. Let me see here. Let's see. Kate Anzac Day, right? Okay, 1 second. Oh, all right, here goes. I tell you, one of these days I'm going to hire a producer. Not much enthusiasm, is it? You would have thought that that was Anne Boleyn on her way to her execution. Really. My God. Where, I mean, that nothing. Nobody yelling Catherine, nobody yelling Kate, none of that. Nobody yelling Bon Voyage. If you know, you know. Nobody yelling Bon Voyage, nothing. Not a hello, not a hey, not a all aboard. If you know, you know. None of that. No port to starboard. No executives from Volkswagen or or Xerox or any of that stuff? Huh? What is that only for gap year? Yeah, maybe that's only for the gap year. Anyway, I was going to say something, but I'm going to keep that one to myself. Oh, that is so bad. Anchors away. Bon voyage. All's well that ends well. Long as there's a happy ending. Anyway, as I was saying, it was almost spooky. It's really sad. It's kind of like a setup. It really is like a setup. It was like they were setting her up for failure, for disappointment. Which I'm okay with that because, I don't really like the chick anyway. But yeah. Oh, look, nobody gives a rat's behind. No one is interested, not in the least. Nobody cares. You were there. You sang from the hymn book, and then you went home. And by the way, there were no speeches. You would have thought, covering for Charles, that there would have been some kind of speech or something. Well, you'd be mistaken. There was no speech. I'm like, well, surely she's going to give a speech, right? Wrong.
Daily challenge at finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact. Leaders, you'll face the daily challenge at finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact.
Yes. Well, it is that daily challenge of finding the difference between profitability. Now, in the English language, patine, I thought that word meant the sound that is made when you spit like a watermelon seed into a metal container, right? I thought that was a patine sound. Like patine, patine. I thought that's what patine meant. I don't know how Kate's using it, but I think it means something different. I guess it means balance, patine. Balance, patine. But wait a minute. Then what is a balancing beam? Do you think she meant to say balancing beam? A beam? Look at it. Now I'm doing it. A balancing beam like they use in the Olympics. But she said balance patine. Maybe she meant balancing beam. It reminds me of that day that she was supposed to christen that ship. Remember that? She also used some word that did not make sense that day. I'm still trying to figure out what she said.
I have the pleasure to name this ship HMS Glasgow. May God bless her and all who sail on her.
Now, what is HMS? What is HMS?
I have the pleasure to name this ship HMS to name this ship HMS Glasgow. To name this ship HMS Glasgow.
Do you think she has Tourette syndrome? Is that like some kind of a tick? HMS Glasgow. I know what Glasgow is, but I don't know what HMS is. That's so weird. HMS. Now, HMS sounds like that's like at a sleazy motel. Yeah, at a sleazy motel, you would expect some of the people that are staying at the hotel would make a mess. And some of those people are, shall we say, workers of another sort. And there's an H word that you use for those workers. Now, that's what I think HMS is. That's when you got to go clean up, the motel room. Look at all this stuff that person. Anyway, let me stop before I get in trouble. I still don't know what HMS means. That's what I thought it meant. I thought that meant a messy worker of the night. That's what I thought it meant. If you know, you know. Okay. If you know, you know. Oh, man. Now, SK says, Kate not being able to spell the name of the country she will one day reign over as queen consort is quite funny. When did Australia add another I to its name? Oh, wait, till you see how she spelt memory. Okay. Yeah. Wait until you see that. She really writes in the same manner as she speaks. Forced fancy writing to go with the forced posh accent. Now, how does she spell memory? See there? Apparently, this needs memory in fancy writing. It looks more like it says, what does that say? It looks like it says M-A. E-M-A-Y. No, wait. Not, yeah, E-M-A-Y. M-A. Right? Is that what that says? Instead of memory, maybe that's Latin, M-A. Maybe that's Latin, or maybe some old Middle English. Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe she's writing in shorthand. Maybe that's shorthand. Maybe she has some secretarial skills that we don't know about. Australian. Australian. No, Auxilior. Anyway, it does have two eyes now. This girl then gave Australia two eyes. And I thought I couldn't spell. Oh, Eve. Eve. Okay. Oh, I see. Eve. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oive. Ah. It's Yiddish. Oy vey. Oy vey. Oy vey. Yeah, it's probably Yiddish. Oh, it looks like the first M is missing. Oh, so instead of memory, it's Imre. Imre. Imve. Okay, I get it. Instead of memory, it's just Eve. Eve. Well, that's interesting. Well, she has her own way of doing things, being posh and all. Okay. Well, you guys, I just have this last thing here. And then I was going to show a little Chicago history if you have time for it. But if you don't want to stick around for that, you can go ahead and take off. But yeah, that looks just like the Wales family, doesn't it? You got William, Kate, those adorable children. Yeah, I would say that that is very much the future of the House of Windsor. Now, let me get to this. Have you guys ever been to Chicago? Well, that photo from the 1890s, that is actually Michigan Avenue to the left, where all those buildings are. And in the distance, you could see that it looks like a church spire. That is the original Montgomery Ward office building on Michigan Avenue. And then the building with those arches, that is the Art Institute of Chicago. I love this picture. This is like one of my favorite pictures of Chicago. You have to say to yourself, what were they thinking? No, you know what? That's not from the 18. I think that's 1915. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I think that's 1915. But that is the commuter train. Now, if you went there today, you could still see those train tracks. But if you take a look on the right side of the picture, you can see there's other rail cars there. That's gone. That doesn't exist anymore. You can see close up. This is the Van Buren Street station. This is the Van Buren Street station. So if you've ever been to Chicago, it's not far from the Art Institute, which you can see right there. And these are commuters making their way up to the street level. And notice everybody's wearing a hat. Back in those days, everybody wore a hat. Regardless of your age or gender, you were not going to go out that door without a hat on. Now, fast forward to the 1920s. This is Millennium Park. This is Grant Park and Millennium Park. This is where the Bean is located. I promise you, this is where the Bean is located. Years ago, that whole area was an open air parking lot as well as train tracks. This is an early colored photo. I believe this is from the 1940s. I think this is from the 1940s. No, I think it's 1956, maybe. I think it might be from 1956. But it looks like an Instamatic photo. But if you've been to Chicago, you did not see these ugly, hideous rail cars, freight train cars. That's what they used to have at Grant Park and Millennium Park. Big, ugly, rusty rail cars. Now, years ago, they got rid of that type of stuff on the lakeshore. Look at there. An old red caboose. right there by Michigan Avenue. That looks insane. Now remember, these are early colored photos. And a big advertisement for Pabst Blue Ribbon beer right off of Michigan Avenue? Who would do that? Well, back then they didn't really care. And the building in the background, the one with the big point at the top, that is the 1929 Carbon and Carbide building. That was owned by a company called Union Carbide. They used to make batteries. Remember the batteries with the cat on it? That was their office building. And the building with the dome, that is another office building called the Jewelers Building. But I'm going to show you how this area has changed, so stay with me. But it's just incredible to think that with the beautiful backdrop of the city of Chicago's Michigan Avenue, that you would have this type of industry right out in the front yard. People look at Chicago's skyline and marvel at the beauty of it. And you have to wonder what happened to all of this. Well, that type of industry went away. Now, this is Millennium Park. This is where the Bean is located. But this is the way it looked all the way up until the 1980s. And by the 1990s, Mayor Daley said that he wanted to turn this into a green space. He wanted to turn it into a green space. Now, just to give you reference, you see the building, the white building on the right side there, that big white building. Well, if you count 2 buildings over, that is the Montgomery Ward building. See how dark it is? That's the Montgomery Ward building. That's the one that had that big spire at the top. They removed it, but it had that like church spire at the top. It was removed. But we're on the other side of it now. Before, we were looking at it from the south to the north, and now we're looking from the north to the south. And this is what it looks like today. This is what it looks like today. From this to this, a green space. Now, it is mostly hollow beneath. Beneath the bean, which you can see there on the right side, beneath the bean, there is a parking garage. There's also an underground theater. And then that odd-shaped lawn that you see there, that is an outdoor theater. And then the Art Institute is just beyond that. They've expanded the Art Institute. It's probably about 4 times the original size. But that is what it looks like today. So it is possible to turn something like this into something like this, where you could still use everything beneath, which is now a massive parking garage, theater, and some other infrastructure, including, as you can see right there, trains. There's also a train station there, but it's all underground now. It's all underground. So that is actually like a green rooftop. And there's the bean. Yeah, I actually took the color away. Looks pretty cool, right? Like that or that. That way the bean kind of stands out. And this is how you get to that train station. Somebody would have to tell you where it is, because you wouldn't even know unless you're from Chicago. But that's the entrance to the train station. And then you go and walk under Michigan Avenue, like those people are doing right there. And then you end up at the train yard, which is now all covered up. See there? It's all covered up. There's a green rooftop on top of the old Millennium Station. Of course, that wasn't the original name. It was called the Randolph Station, but it was renamed for the year 2000. So it just goes to show you what you could do with some good engineering and innovation. You can take an ugly, blighted area, you could take an ugly, blighted area and turn it into something functional and beautiful. So out with the blight and in with the beauty. See? Now say it with me. Out with the blight, out with all of the rundown infrastructure, rusty rails, splintered wooden ties, and all of that. Broken concrete train platforms. All of that is gone, replaced by something sleek and elegant. Tell me you didn't see that coming. Just tell me you didn't see that coming. Well, that's what you want to do. You want to take something that has been pretty run down, or you might even want to take something that's on its way out, and you want to change it before it's too late. And it's never too late. Just because something has seen better days doesn't mean that it can't be salvaged. But you have to want to fix it. You know, and sometimes you can just see the transformation. You can see that it's going from to that. It's not always going to sneak up on you. No, ma'am. You can see when it's happening, but it will happen. A thing of beauty is a joy until sunrise. And it looks like the sun has been rising all over Kensington Palace, all over it. And popularity fades. Yes, popularity fades. And sometimes there's infighting, backbiting. People are shooed away. But in the end, only the strong survives. Only the strong survives. Only those who wholeheartedly embrace the future. Those are the ones that survive. Not the rundown infrastructure, not the dum-dums, the baby brains. No, nay, not the baby brains.
Face the daily challenge at finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact. Leaders, you'll face the daily challenge at finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact.
Yeah, things like that are not meant to survive. Things like that are not meant to survive. They are meant to go the way of the dodo bird, extinct. Maybe put up in some country house somewhere. Given a chance to live out its days in a place where it doesn't have to, talk. It's probably best. It's probably best for all of society. That way nobody gets their feelings hurt. Thank you, Barbara Canada. I say these things because it's true. I take no pleasure in pointing out the obvious. It's just that I subscribe to that ancient Latin phrase, veritas, which of course means truth. So, but every so often, there are those who will beg the question upon seeing Harry and Meghan actually thriving. There are those who will ask the question,
do they think they are?
yeah, there are those who will ask the question. And then there are those who will answer the question. Those of us who will look people like that square into their chins. Yeah, we'll look them directly into all 3 or 4 of their chins. And we will say the only thing that you can say at that point that makes sense.
Hey, girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
But there are some days when even I struggle to understand what's going on. Even I struggle with it sometimes. And those are the days when I say,
I just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us 4 sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals or as like Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're becoming celebrities.
Well, yeah, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their celebrity.
For me,
I love the Queen.
Brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No, for duty, responsibility.
She's always worked really hard,
But
hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
No, they don't pay for all of the houses. But
just a few.
They don't give you a chance to think, do they? They don't give you a chance to think for yourself. They don't pay for all the houses. Well, they're paying for enough of them. And whatever we ain't paying for, or they ain't paying for, it was financed through money that was taken a long time ago, one shopping bag at a time. So, you know, I don't know too many people who can legally hand me a shopping bag full of money. Only those that are above the law can get away with that. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to say good night, farewell, good morning, whatever the case may be. As per usual, it's been a pleasure. Welcome back, Prudence. We're glad to have you back, and I'm glad it all worked out. Love you guys. I will see you all next time.